Alright, YouTube, the White House got a little bit rankled by the European Union because people realize Trump and Bannon and others are Eurosceptics, don't really want the EU to exist because we actually want our European allies to be strong instead of strangulated by Merkel. We kind of want them to be free of Brussels because it benefits them, and if it benefits them, it benefits us because they're allies and trading partners of ours. And the EU is ineffective, stupid, filled with censorship, and currently destroying itself. But Mike Pence was trotted out because he's sort of the good guy globalist image of the Trump administration. That is, Trump says something true, or Bannon says something true, or Sessions, or some of these people. They say something that they mean, and Pence, when people get offended, the higher-ups, they send Pence in to go smooth out the wrinkles, say, oh, no, don't worry, it's just hyperbole. We're not actually anti-globalists, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We would never deliberately try to undercut the EU in order to cause the growth of more Eurosceptic parties so that it rips itself apart so that we can be done with this crazy-ass scheme of yours. So that we can liberate people from the fourth communist Reich of Angela Merkel and her friends in Belgium and so forth. So he goes and meets with Donald Tusk, another Donald in a position of power, no less. And the flag behind him when he's, doing the meet and greet, shaking his hand, has 51 stars on it instead of 50. Now, where do you think they got this flag? I think someone had to do this deliberately because I can't imagine there are that many vendors online that sell 51 star flags, and I have to assume anyone who's working with the EU, they probably at least have enough intelligence to know that there are 50 states in the United States. Can you say Memetics? Can you say maybe Puerto Rico? Maybe somebody's trying to make a prediction here, sort of like the Simpsons escalator Donald Trump sort of stuff, or maybe somebody's trying to openly affect reality. Now, riddle me this. For those that think I'm a little crazy for believing in Memetics, or having a general belief in it, or at the very least understanding how it, theoretically operates, why do you think so many government agencies study telepathy and levitation and things like that? Do you think it has something to do with all the religiously zealot Nazi scientists we absorbed under Operation Paperclip said, oh, you're going to work for us, you're basically going to be a slave, but at least you're not going to be in communism, and you can get wealthy, you can do your science stuff all you want, but you're going to be helping our military-industrial complex. I think it does, because it's around that time that all those weird tales begin. The concept of science and occultism being twain dates back earlier to another U.S. system, specifically eugenics, which is in its early form, developed in the United States. It's the same thing. We're still living in a eugenic era, we just stopped sterilizing people, essentially. And I don't see the problem with that. But I think, whoever put that up, and I don't think it was an EU official, I think somebody, some US staffer switched the flags or something, as a sort of memetic joke. I think somebody did it deliberately to try to literally affect the timeline that we're living in, so to speak. Or they were trying to make a half-assed prediction that we would soon have a 51st star. Interestingly, it'll get people talking about the very concept, and here's the propaganda side. The mere fact that this happened gets them talking about Puerto Rican statehood, which Trump, I believe, has already mentioned in a positive light before, long ago. So there's that. And it also shows people, there are a lot of people, a surprising number, who mainly are against the idea of admitting any further states because of flag design. Well then, I guess this takes care of their fears. It shows that the flag can have a 51st star and still look presentable. Well, there you go. Everybody's happy. It just works. There you go. That's how propaganda truly operates. This isn't this sort of thing. When we're dealing with the sort of meetups, official state visits, that take days or weeks to prepare, in which everyone is buzzing around like a bunch of servants around a baroness, and everything is supposed to be perfect. The fork has to be in a specific location, the cup has to be a certain distance from the edge of the table, everything must be perfect, the greetings between politicians or bureaucrats and so forth and celebrities, they have to be very formal, very elongated, with all sorts of titles of nobility attached to everyone's name, and the prithee and pray tell sort of stuff. I don't think that this particularly was an accident, because their meetings are almost a form of weird ritual in and of themselves. It's very, very pompous. It's very, very formal when these people meet up, unless it's deliberately in an informal setting. You'd think of like Camp David Accords or something like that. Outside of that, there is It's like when politicians, like if you watch Dr. Strangelove, you get an idea of this, and it's actually pretty accurate. It's like if the Soviets and some U.S. politician were talking on the phone back during the Cold War. It'd take them half an hour just to get through the introductions, because everyone was trying to diffuse any tension, be very, very prim and proper, be very, very polite, so that they could actually get to the meeting. But it might be nothing more than a courtesy call over some minor dispute, and it'd take him a half a fucking hour to get through the introductions. Now, Trump doesn't necessarily do that. I think he's a little bit more generally informal, specifically to keep some of the career politicians on their toes. But Mike Pence is very much that kind of person. And if anyone's expecting a visit from Pence, again, sort of the good guy, globalist face of the United States administration currently, who gets trotted out for damage control and not much else other than the Flynn issue. If he's going to Brussels and they're putting up a flag that's not technically the US flag because it has one too many stars, it was done, in my opinion, deliberately. Somebody put the flag there either to make a prediction that there would be soon a 51st state, or maybe the Trump administration itself had that flag put there in a memetic effort. It does seem to work for him. You know, Trump was supposedly way behind his opponent for an entire year, was supposedly a dumbass who never won a debate, was supposedly the weakest Republican candidate in a century, and yet he still manages to win. Maybe that caused him to believe a little bit in the force of memetic propaganda. Maybe it has. Maybe this is kind of like the Simpsons stuff. You know, making all of their predictions, and astonishingly, they quite often seem to mimic real events. More or less loosely, but they do. Maybe somebody got the bright idea that by simply predicting that this would happen, it would affect the odds of it happening. Maybe we're living in a matrix and stuff like that actually happens, and all these former Nazi scientists that inform the next generation of people currently working for, like, the Defense Department already know that it happens, and that's why there are so many weird oddities that happen in our government all the time. Has anybody ever thought of that possibility, that maybe they wouldn't let on that they knew that it was real because they don't want other people fully understanding such power because it's almost godlike? Oh, we cracked the code of the Matrix a little bit here. We've got like cheat codes for existence. Why would we want to share it with other people? We're gonna spend our time snorting all the CIA coke, I suppose. Now, I don't think that this was accidental. I think someone stitched the extra star on themselves or something like that. And where are they getting the 51-star U.S. flag? Did they have to fucking custom order it from some Amazon vendor or something? Oh, stitch an extra star on the bottom row, please. Why? Oh, don't ask, don't tell. Yeah, it was totally accidental. No, I don't think that it was. And Mike Pence, it's very funny to see him. He's like the whipping boy of the administration. Trump says something off the wall, pisses off some globalist leader in the EU, China, wherever. Mike Pence has to go and do damage control and assure people, oh, don't bother taking what he said seriously. He would never actually be really anti-globalist. He'll play nice with you. He has to appeal to his core fans, and he has to keep making these excuses, which I don't even believe, over and over again. Now, I think that Trump really is that bombastic. He really does want to sort of take out the globalist structure because he realizes, hey, for people like him, for like the billionaire class, as well as for the very poor and the working class, it'd be great. It'd be wonderful for us. If we escape that system, our economy will go into hyperdrive. Everyone will get more wealthy. We'll actually have a middle class again that's functioning properly, that encompasses more than, 10 people employed by some corporation. It'd be wonderful. We could actually compete with other countries again. Be great. That's about all. Peace out.